All right, there we go. Hello, everyone. So I had to change my microphone just stopped working completely, just as the stream was about to start. Typical. But anyway, welcome back to everyone to Crypto Warehouse. My name's Brogan, and today we're obviously back for another trading stream. Now, I have a feeling, again, for the past however many days it's been, that we've been in this kind of range for the whole market, pretty much the whole market, that this stream isn't going to be any different from any of the other streams I've done, basically, because it's just going to be me talking about the fact that we're still at the same price we're always at. So buckle in, get ready, get excited for a duplicate stream, basically, because this market situations are really boring. But anyway, regardless, welcome everyone to the stream. Glad everyone's back. What time is it? There we go, 9. Wait, let me just check the Telegram quickly. I should probably, because I normally send obviously the link in Telegram. It's been sent, but I'm going to send it again just to make sure everyone knows that we are live. There we go. Okay. Other than that, I'm going to close that down and get ready, I suppose. Okay, there we go. Perfect. So welcome back. Obviously, it's been a bit of a boring. Obviously we streamed Friday. You know what happened Friday. Obviously you'll know what was going on. Thank you. Shout out to you, Bybit, the legends out there at Bybit, getting everything wrong and getting their money stolen. Shout out to you guys, Bybit. Actually, I should probably read this article. I forgot to actually bring an article up about this. I don't want to read this on this place though. I want to. Okay, wait. Maybe these guys have it. Actually, you know what? I was like, oh yeah, I should probably bring an article. I literally only just realized I should probably bring an article up. Whatever. You know what? Whatever. I'm just gonna read this because I want to actually read this. Because obviously Bybit restores $1.4 billion in stolen Ether, plans fresh proof of reserve report. Okay. It's good news, but I kind of obviously talked about it on Friday. It's like, unless we have more bad news, I think good news is just going to let us kind of sit in this area. Bad news is going to be really bad, because I was saying this might not be the final move we have. This is probably the biggest move we have, but in terms of our maximum movement and kind of where we could see for Bitcoin, if we did see more negativity and did see more things about this sort of thing from Bybit, then obviously we probably would have seen more moving downwards in the market. Thankfully, we haven't really seen much more over the weekend. Obviously, the weekend was basically, as I said on Friday, probably the crabbing phase, and the recovery would hopefully be into today onwards. Obviously, we've not gone up particularly today. But we'll read this. We'll see what they've done, how they got it back. So Bybit CEO Ben Zhu has confirmed that the crypto exchange has fully replenished $1.4 billion in Ethereum that was stolen in a historic hack on February 21st. Zhu assured users on a February 24th post on X that the company's reserves are backed at a 1-to-1 ratio and that a new audited proof of reserve report would soon be released to verify customer assets. The recovery efforts followed findings from blockchain analytics from Lock On Chain, which reported that Bybit has received 446,870 Ethereum, worth approximately $1.23 billion, from a combination of loans, well deposits, and direct purchases. This counts for nearly 88% of stolen funds, which have been linked to the North Korea-backed hacker group Lazarus. Yes, actually, that was very interesting. The timer, yeah, true, good point. Completely forgot to put the timer on. Why is my camera off center? Oh, let me make the center. This is not good. It's amateur hour. If I shimmy that over this way a bit, let me bring this on the main screen so I can actually see the precise. Yeah, that's good enough. Yeah. Okay, there we go. All right. So I thought it was quite interesting. It was Lazarus. Because I think it was clearly something which wasn't a localized attack, which I thought was quite interesting. Because obviously the things they were alluded to was, oh yeah guys, we didn't get hacked, or the security middleman didn't get hacked. It must have been an internal systems hack. But obviously they're in North Korea, these people in North Korea. So I'll be interested to actually see what the attack was. Let's actually move backwards and actually go into what actually happened. I'm quite interested to see if this mentions any sort of talk about how it actually happened, hopefully, because they were like, oh yeah, guys, it's okay. Is this light really dark? Let me put my light a bit quickly. This is not going well. Okay, whatever. I just wanted to up my lights a bit. Yeah, so I'm interested to see what. Oh, hopefully, I haven't actually read this this article in particular to see if there's actually any mention of what happened in particular, because obviously when we looked at it on Friday, they were talking about what it could potentially be, and kind of theorized what it could potentially be, but didn't actually get a solid answer as to what it actually was, which made them lose their money. In a post on Telegram, Zach XBT noted that the entity laundering the stolen Bybit funds might have been behind the meme coin launched on Solana's Pump.fun. I should probably take 2 steps back because I do not know what they're talking about the meme coin launched on Solana's Pump.fun. Is this so is there a link? Oh no, I did not want to go to their Telegram. So let's just read it, whatever. According to Zach XBT, the attacker received $1.08 million from the Bybit hack to that I assume the address, who proceeded to bridge USDC to Solana. He noted that another address further bridged the Solana funds to Binance Smart Chain. The hackers on BSC carefully split the Solana funds into 30 different addresses before consolidating it into a single wallet. That's what they're there. Okay. It was from this wallet that $106,000 to 10 different Binance Smart Chain addresses before moving the funds back to Solana. So there's a bit of a bit of a wash in here, try and launder it basically. A bit of a smoke and mirrors. I don't care about this though, because I want to find out. I want to find out what happened, but I don't really think. I don't think we're gonna find out, are we? Yeah, no, we're not. It's basically talking about how it linked them to Lazarus, which is boring. I would like to know what kind of happened. So they've got it back in terms of a ratio to actually back their what they have on their platform, which is good. So right, a UI hack, right? Okay. Okay. Right. Interesting. So it was actually within their system of sending it. It wasn't actually like a systems hack locally or whatever. Right. Okay. So yeah, look on chains analysis revealed that Bybit associated wallets that had acquired 157,600 Ethereum, worth approximately $437 million from major crypto investment firms, Galaxy Digital, FalconX, and Wintermute, through over-the-counter transactions. Right. So they're basically just talking about how they actually got the money back, whatever. Yeah. So that was crazy. Yeah, biggest hack we would do. We'll talk about that. So nothing really. That was a nothing bagger, which is crazy. Yeah, brilliant. I wasted my time. I don't know everyone else's. Let's just move on to the percentages and just get this over with. Okay, let's just get the stream over with. This obviously, not to say that these streams are boring because these are the best streams in entire crypto. However, I can't deny the fact that these charts lately have been particularly boring to some of you guys. Probably, obviously, I haven't had any direct messages going, your streams suck. These are the most boring streams I've ever seen in my life. But if I was a viewer, I would understand. I haven't been given a lot to work with in terms of making some interesting claims. It's kind of just been, okay, well, now we're down here, but now we were up there. Stream later, we went up there, now we're down here again at the same place. So, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, 94,223 for Bitcoin right now, 0.25% down on the 1 hour. Again, 10 minutes ago, who cares? 1.64% down 24 hour, and 1.57 on the 7 day. So again, 1.57 down 7 days, 1.64 24 hour, quite a spread, quite a not widespread on the 24 hour and the 7 day, so clearly, as you can see by this wick down here, a very recent movement downwards, followed or proceeded from a position of just crabbing, which obviously, we can maybe kind of imagine what that could be. That is the weekend. So kind of a bit of crabbing there, moving downwards, similar with Ethereum and so on and so forth. Solana's a bit more of a trucking downwards scenario. You can see by the spread between 7 day and the 24 hour, clearly 24 hour massive movement downwards, however 15% 7 day. But yeah, I mean, again, once we saw that movement downwards, for Solana through the equilibrium from Bybit. It was literally just like, okay, we're not going to hold this at all, are we? And now actually even coming below than the 162 support point, so we could even be coming into the next range below us, which is really bad for Solana. Like that is that's extreme, because like, you know, Bitcoin, Ethereum, you know, these coins, especially, you know Ethereum 2655, these are positions we've seen before. These are positions which aren't that worrying. Same with Bitcoin, you know, these are low positions, but positions we, you know, it's not like we can't recover from these sorts of things. But with Solana, it's like 150. Like, this is some deep stuff. Like, this is like, okay, because I'm like, okay, well, we've got support down here. This is a decent support point. Looking, you know, back in time in Solana, this should be a good support point. And then boom, $150. So, you know, Solana's a bit of a faller lately. So you can see, but between, you know, Ethereum and Bitcoin, obviously Ethereum's case, 5.3% down 24 hour, 2.6 on the 7 day. So again, a bit more of a movement downwards over the last 24 hours, stronger than the 7 day average. Obviously that could just be a scenario of you know, positional, like if we've come from a high point or a low point or whatever, can determine, you know, what the 7 day percentage is going to be. But realistically, you know, it kind of shows a not really big movement downwards. But then obviously we come to Solana with that 15% move down on the 7 day, 9.5% down 24 hour, clearly showing moving downwards. But again, we can't, you know, it's not like we're trying to guess or assume what the movement downwards is going to be. We can see on the right here, we can see this in comparison to Bitcoin, where it's really steady, or is Ethereum here, a similar scenario here where we did try to come up and come down, but, you know, regarding Bitcoin, resulting in a very similar position that as we've already seen with Ethereum. Then we go to Solana, it's like this was kind of this little triangle area here was obviously this dump from externality, which kind of followed through with every single coin in the market. But then we see with Solana, the continuation from that was a bit of a crab arc thing going on, and then a continuation downwards for Solana. So again, with Solana, very, very different. Obviously, Dogecoin, I don't really care about Dogecoin. But it's, what I'm trying to say is the top two seem like they're trying to actually hold their areas, which is a good sign for the top two anyway. And if the top two are doing good, then the market most likely will be doing good in the future anyway. On a not macro level, but on a level which isn't looking deeper into coin by coin basis. Anyway, I'm gonna go on to my chart. This isn't my chart. This is Mike's chart. You know what? I'm gonna have a look at Mike's chart. I want to have a look, see what he's doing. I think he does this one. Oh no, he doesn't do that one. It's not gonna be this one, is it? It's gonna be this one. Let's see. Right, so he's got some ranges. 92. Yep. Okay. Yep. 92. I like that. 92. I don't know what this price is because it's not telling me. Okay. He's got 24. Wait a minute. Where are we? Okay. Yeah, that's fine. 106. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Sure. Let's go back to my one. Alright, I'm leaving it, don't worry, I'm not touching anything. Okay, let's get off all this. Get off of Ethereum as well. We don't look at that just yet. I can't type anything. Okay, there we go. Alright, so let's see the exact same thing we've already seen again. So what were we talking about on the weekly? I think we were talking about this order block we had, which could potentially be support for Bitcoin. I think we were talking about a bounce off of 92.85. I think we were also talking about that. Was that on the daily though? What were we talking about? I can't remember. I think it was some. I think it was. I'm on the wrong range. That's why. Stupid. There we go. There it is. I think we were talking about a 93.9 print and coming down back to this area. I think we were anyway. Obviously recovering. Now it's Monday. Unfortunate scenario. I think what it kind of was waiting for you know, us to kind of see if we were going to revisit, you know, 93.9 and to see if we were going to print there for the bounce. So my kind of talk was, okay, will we see that within this candle or the next candle? Well, we've visited them pretty much every single candle, you know, onwards. And it's not like we haven't done that over here previously. However, we didn't print there on the last candle. We recovered quite ecstatically back upwards over the week, obviously from the dump and whatnot, and trying to finally print at 96.1 here, actually at 96.3, but then in this case from the weekly print, negative entry. So I mean, this could be, obviously if Monday negative, you know, it could be a continue. the rest of the week could be going upwards, but following the potential, what should be the trend, if we look at it kind of coming downwards, obviously this is the open of the week, so it's going to be pretty hectic or pretty dramatic. But again, we are nearing the end of the day for Monday, so seeing that we're down here, what are the big players left? Well, 3 a.m. my time, I think it's about 3 a.m. my time, which will be Tuesday 3 a.m., so not today, will be the opening of Asia. So technically, if that was Sunday, that would have been Monday. So I think if it goes back, I think America. Sorry, are they in front? I think they're in front, right? Because they're ahead. So that's already happened. So the Asia's already happened. So again, considering who the major players, America, Asia, England, America, and Asia, the people where when you look at these timings for the open and the close, these are when you get those big trades or big movements in the price. And obviously, in this case, the resultants of those have all been negative to be able to bring us towards this, 93 area down here for Bitcoin. So, what does that kind of insinuate to me? Well, are we really going to be spending 6 days and 4 hours sitting at 93.9? I think we'll probably have retracements throughout this week. I mean, I would be very surprised if we sat there solidly at this 94k area. However, I do think we'll probably recover. I think the requirement based on these ranges, external from anything logical out, in terms of data-based, it would be we have to print at 93.9, have this clear bounce, and then move upwards again. So if I could try and translate that into something which makes sense on the weekly to actually print here, obviously it would then be maybe obviously today's negative, maybe Tuesday coming into a bit of positivity, and then coming down during the week, and then finalizing at this line to then come up to to then actually print here and then allow us to actually come up and bounce off of here. Go back up towards 100k, 106k, whatever in the future, which obviously we are hoping on. But again, thank you Bybit for slowing us down even further than we need to. We didn't need slowing down. You can see these candles. Look at these two. Look at these 2 weeks. Even this week, obviously major movements in these weeks. Now, I'm not saying we haven't had movements in these weeks, but look at where we've printed. Look at the all we've done over the week, and then what it's resulted in. It's not done anything. Look back here, big candle. Obviously this one was a bit different, but relatively comparative to what we've done over the past couple of weeks. Comparatively big candle, similar over here, comparatively big candle, massive candle here, relative candle, big, and then obviously coming down, yeah, cool, but then over these last weeks, it's literally not been, the resultant of the week has not actually done anything. Throughout the week, we've had something bad happen, or something's happened, bring us down, or we've had a movement bring us down or bring us up, and then the rest of that week has been overshotting the movement and then coming right back. So in this case, here, for example, we came down. We're like, oh crap, we've come down. What we're going to do? Came back up. But obviously, the resultant of this came up. So it was like, okay, we're coming up from a bad position. Oh crap, we're at a really, really big resistance area. Bang, overshot it, and then we're here again. Exact same thing for the last week. I feel like we're kind of slinging in between two areas. It's the same here. Like, okay, we've come down all the way. Now we're gonna have to overshoot it back upwards, and now we're gonna result in a movement downwards again. It's gonna be boring. But anyway, I'm yapping. Let's actually go into the lower time frames because I can't, overanalyze something which isn't actually on the thing yet. Oh yeah, I shimmied this down as well. I forgot to draw it Friday, but I remember saying I shimmed it down towards 99.5, which obviously I was a bit lower than that. I did undershot it, but it was around 99.5 there. Because again, looking at this, are we realistically going to be seeing that higher area? But anyways, we did form this order block, remembering this. Obviously, we do have this equilibrium, which we're bouncing nicely off, but this was kind of a pair of. So I think what I said on Friday was basically we've got this order block on the certain range which we had up here. We also have this equilibrium on the weekly, which we should be bouncing off. So, to kind of look at it, it was like, okay, we've got support of this order block, which we could bounce off the bottom area of. We also have the equilibrium. So looking at what sort of sentiment we would be, or looking at what sort of position we would be in the market if we were going to be at the price of 93.8, it would be a position where we would want to actually look backwards and come back upwards, basically. So obviously in this case, it'd be even if we surpass the order block from 94.1 towards 93.9, realistically our position in the market should be we've come from a high point and now we're going to want to look to reverse from this position at 93.9 and then basically bounce, is what I'm trying to say. Is this position should be this bounce. So I think this is what the case is here. So if we kind of zoom in and whatever, we can see this. Actually, what I want to do is I'm streaming on YouTube and Binance. I don't open Binance, okay, because I think it's full of crap. Full of, I'm such another thing. My typing today has been awful. I can't type anything. Yeah, I don't open it because there's a bunch of spam, but apparently it's been getting better and it's not as much spam. So I'm actually going to open up the chat. I know there are actual people, real people who are in the chat on Binance. So I don't want to miss out on them. So I will open that up. There we go. So yeah, anyways, going back to what I was talking about with this bounce, I think that's what we're seeing, what we're going to see right now is this kind of, obviously we're printing at 93.9, using this equilibrium as we should be, translating in this kind of bounce off of the order block, and then we've come into the order block, and now we're going to come back upwards again. So it's just kind of one of those things where we're just rocking backwards and forwards. I don't realistically think we're going to have consistent printing and movement downwards past 93.9 coming into 92. I don't realistically see that personally. Obviously, if something bad happens, yes, we can see that. That's the thing about the market. You can't just solely look at the charts every single second and not look at anything else, because you do have to take into account there will be times when bad things happen, like the Bybit thing. Who would have predicted that North Korea would have hacked Bybit and all this would have happened? You can't predict that on a chart. So you do have to take it into account, but realistically, based on a normal market situation, I don't realistically see us spending considerable time and printing below these 93 areas. This was the big drop of Bybit. No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. This was not that. This was another drop. The drop was here to the 94 of the order block. This was a different drop of a different caliber. But these are big drops. Oh yeah, but we came from here. That's the thing. Okay, so no, this was it. This was, in terms of a relative drop, these were kind of equal, where we came from this high position. I can't remember what it was exactly on Tuesday, but I think we were basically at the high position and then we dipped. But on Bybit's case, I know for sure we came from the high point at basically 100k, 99k, and then we dipped all the way to 94.8. So in terms of comparative from these dips, these are the big movements downwards. And those sorts of external situations in the market cause these movements where, okay, we then know these sorts of, what has to happen externally for that sort of price action. Well, Bybit's hack, one of the biggest hacks, I think, wasn't it ever? I'm pretty sure it said in the article. Don't want to be wrong about that, but one of the, I think it was the greatest hack. Or the biggest valued hack. Crazy, $1.4 billion is nuts. But again, looking at that, that's what caused this movement downwards. And again, to be fair though, considering the hack, it obviously wasn't like it was dumped onto the market or anything. Obviously there's a bit of fear. However, I think relative, it was a decent movement. But going back to my point, I'm kind of yapping now, is we now know what sort of movement we've seen from relative to these negative situations of the market, where now we know, okay, we still have 93k area as a good support point, considering we have really big negativity in the market. And the only time we dip below this area, existing external from back here where we were coming up in the market, aka 17th of January onwards, the only time was this big dump from this big economic thing which was going on, this big external thing which causes movement downwards. So it seems like the key component in all these movements we've had below our significant support point has been something external. So to finalize what I'm trying to say, because I'm yapping a lot and I'm aware that it's kind of a monotone string of words, is that I think these are going to be, I think this is a good support point. I'm decently confident in this weekly equilibrium. We are printing quite well on the 4 hour. I do think we're still going to be holding this area. So as long as we're not having another thing happen in the market, which is out of anyone's control, I think we are going to be holding this equilibrium. I think we are going to be retracing again once more back up to the high of the range. Because currently what we're in, obviously looking back on Friday as well, this is the exact same thing. We are in this range. This is our support point, our resistance point, between 99.5 and 93.89. So it's kind of just sitting in this area. So we are due a movement upwards or moving outwards. Okay, we are going to be due one of these big situations, or big scenarios where we actually escape somewhere. So from what I saw, I would have expected this kind of these highs moving up above it and then dumping. Obviously, this is not related to that. This was related to Bybit, and obviously trying to retrace. Obviously, this was a fair value gap as well. I believe on one of the lower ranges, this was a fair value gap we had. We came into it and then we dumped as well. So just basically more, because again, this is a massive candle. So again, massive candles, massive orders, and again, this was piling up with the fact that this was something happening in the market which everyone was scared of. So there was going to be orders all the way through this movement downwards, which obviously we traced back into, caught them up and then came down more. So basically, this whole thing here was the resultant of this whole thing here as well. So I'm not worried about this. This made sense. We formed a massive fair value gap, which was caused by massive fear with everyone trying to sell at the same time from this massive move downwards. So this makes sense. I'm not. This makes sense to me based on what I have in front of me. This movement we had moving downwards makes sense, and I think from that position we are right now, I think this is the support we have. This is where we can then finally start to move upwards again, and then either come to our resistance, which it probably will be. Not gonna lie, it's going to be resistance once more, or praise the Lord, or whatever you believe in. We actually come above, because in this case we're gonna need the Lord's help or whatever you believe in's help to get it back, to get above, because clearly we need something a bit more powerful than what we've got right now, because we're not doing it. We are not doing it right now. I'm gonna read the chat though, because there is actually chat to be read, because I do see a lot. I'm not saying people talk. I know KB, you're talking about, you don't speak too much, KB, trust me. I speak a lot. Okay, I've got an hour of speaking. Okay. So anyway, so evening, so shout out to KB for being here. Kishan as well, I see you in the Binance chat as well. I am on the Binance chat, so if you're in Binance, want to say hello or whatever, say hello, because this is a big thing, So 2RJ, hello, new here, welcome to the stream, glad you joined us. I don't look at the Binance chat, like I said, because I haven't looked at it in a while because there's a lot of spam, but I do know Mike keeps up on it a bit, and kicks out kind of spam and the scammers and whatever. So I am on it now because I don't want to see it. Like, I just can't bother. But anyway, so looking back on the chat, 130k incoming. We'll have a look. Yeah. Key SR at 120. Lose that on lights. I was like, yeah. Okay, I'll have a look. Yeah. Again, I mean, because we had 160. I would like to see how we've done with coming below that, because I think 150 isn't going to be far from the equilibrium of the lower range down. So we clearly lost 160 as well. I think, again, I'm gonna have to look at it. I haven't looked at it yet in terms of that range we had, which I looked at on Friday. But anyway, whatever. 65 views from where exactly? You know what? I've been thinking this a lot actually. There's been, I mean, I'm not saying, because there is, I do know there are quite a few people who like to watch and don't really talk. Because again, obviously, sometimes it's charts, or sometimes with charts. What I'm trying to say is, you just want to kind of watch it and get the finalized output of what I'm talking about, and not actually get involved with the whole process going through it. So I do understand people might want to watch and not actually, say anything in the chat, which is fine. But obviously, with the likes, we appreciate, if you're here, it doesn't cost you anything. Okay, it gives us the world. All right, it doesn't cost you anything, it gives us the world. Yeah, don't VR, exactly. Yeah, I mean, if you have anything, if I'm gonna start to pray, we're doing. No, I'm not praying. I'm just saying, at this rate, looking at what we're doing and what we're not doing, basically, it feels like we're gonna need a prayer to actually get us to where we need to go to. But anyway, if you're here, you just say hello. Just say hello. Or if you're feeling like saying anything, this is a safe base. I don't like the over coddling of people, so like the fairy hair color type of thing, but at the same time, it's not gonna be judgment if you say something wrong or whatever, because again, I'm not there'll probably be people out there who stream. I'm not trying to name anyone in particular, but there are some people who are up themselves a bit too much than I prefer, and they will probably judge people, and they do ban people a lot. Obviously, if you probably know who I'm talking about, because there is only one person. Because in this case, looking around us in the crypto market, people are dropping like flies. We've got Ben over here. I don't know what's going on with him, I'm not gonna lie, but he's gonna be out the running soon. We just need to keep it going. Anyway, let's actually see because I saw KB actually saying things. I want to actually read them. Because yeah, I do. If I can speak too much, no, we don't. But when we do the stream, which we're gonna get it done, okay? We need to get it done, because I've been I've been no help with it. I'm not gonna lie. I've been not helping the slightest. Price has been trading within an inside weekly candle for the last 3 weeks. Yes. Isn't that the candle range? I don't want to say theory, because I'm not gonna try and label, because I know, you know, you have a good method. I'm not gonna say it is something which is something already out there, but I believe there is something similar when you analyze how the weeks play out in the candles, being candle range theory, and I believe that is going to be within the candle bodies. Now, I haven't really read up on it at all. I'm not gonna lie, because I remember it was quite big for a while. In terms of the like Zoomer, you know, fast overconsumption of trading constantly TikTok. Candle range theory was a big thing. I didn't really read on it, I'm not gonna lie, because I just like my own thing. But yes, I do think there was quite big significance in how the week's printed, which obviously makes sense. I mean, you know, I think with majority of you know, pretty much every single strategy, I think it makes sense to say how the candles print matter very bigly in terms of how the market's gonna go. Usually price takes out one side, the lower the high, grabbing liquidity before reversing to the opposite. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that was, I remember that being kind of the main ideology of the candle range theory, being it's kind of on a micro level, candle by candle basis, kind of like these, not liquidity sweeps per se, but a system of structure of how your candle should move, where if you have the high of the weekly at the end, you then should go towards the low and then move back upwards again and whatever. I remember that kind of being the process roughly with you know, how we should really move with in terms of the candle range theory and the idea. So yeah, I think I've caught up. So let me move up. I've just seen a new comment. Resistance and wear zone. Is that where we are now? Yeah, I think. Actually, no, it can't be resistance if it's support. So, Ali, elaborate, please. Thank you. Anyway, I've caught up finally with the chat. So let me move back. We've got 31 minutes on the timer, so I probably would like to move on from Bitcoin relatively soon. But I like the conversation with Bitcoin, because whenever we look at Bitcoin, I like talking. 30-minute frame. I can't remember the last time I looked at the 30-minute frame. So, so this is the 30-minute. I can see I can see that there. That's not very good. But I'm not gonna look at 1 hour actually. I don't really like the 1 hour. But yeah, I mean, I've spent on the 30-minute. We have this bouncing on the lower end of things, as we can see there. But it's the 30-minute. I'm not worried about it. I'm more worried about this, which I'm not worried about because I think it's good. Especially this though. Oh no, the 4 hour. I mean, this isn't good though. This print anyway. This is not a good thing. But I don't think it's gonna be a bad thing either, because again, if we go to I think it was this one. Was this one? Was it this one? I think it was. Oh, was it this range? Which range was it? I found a range which had this kind of order block in it, but I can't remember which one it was. Was it this one? It might have been here. No, it wasn't. Was it this area? Yeah, that's not good. Wait, is this where I looked? Or was that? Because that's kind of like the daily range, and then the ones lower go the 4 hour. Why did I draw this? I swear I saw something on Friday. I was like, oh, this is order block. What did I find? It's not this. It's not this range. This range doesn't make sense. This one doesn't either. This one makes sense, but that's bad. This is a bad thing because this is a breaker block, which means this will be negative, which means this will be resistance, which is not a good thing. Yeah. Again, I'm not saying we can't use that. So let me move it back. Clearly, I had logic on Friday. Clearly, somewhere I drew it. I don't know why I drew it though. Whatever. Support. Who cares? We're at support at the equilibrium. That's all I got to worry about. I'm relatively okay with the idea that we're not actually gonna go downwards more. I mean, you can see based on lows, this has been pretty much carbon copied highs and lows, apart from this one, which was a bit higher. But then in this case, we then did another low, to kind of recovered it back in. But now we've done another high, and now we're doing because we're still kind of in the process of doing it, a higher low as well. So obviously, if we can kind of follow this kind of, you know, movement downwards, kind of choppy movement downwards, and then maybe start to actually no. To be fair, this was the low. To be fair, so this doesn't really follow the actually. To be fair, that doesn't really follow what I'm talking about, because it was kind of this process. But then that was the dub from the buy bit. So realistically, where's the low going to be? Let's go on the daily. Daily always makes sense. The daily always makes it easier. but in this case it actually doesn't, because we're on a smaller range. Daily really leaves a lot to be, what's the saying? Leaves a lot to be desired, or whatever it is, in terms of anything to look at on the daily, and anything in the slightest. This just sucks. But what all I can really leave off with is the fact that we are at our equilibrium, which we haven't really seen any structural price movement breaking below it and having any difficulty at it, which hasn't been normal price action. Obviously we've seen external things happen in the market as a whole, economically or whatever, which has caused these movement downwards. But again, we haven't seen it with normal price action. I do think it is a good solid support point, especially on the weekly. I think this is a solid support point at 93.8 area. I think it is decent support. So I think as we are bouncing off it on the 4 hour as well, hopefully we can hold and we don't come up towards 94.9, find resistance and then come down. But again, this is, it's not like, we've just got this 4 hour order block which is going to make us come all the way down to 91k. This is the weekly equilibrium. This is a good high thing. This is solid. Equilibriums are solid things. It's not just some, handy pandy, oh, look at me, order block. So, you know what I'm saying? Anyway, I'm going to move on though, because I've got 27 minutes. I do want to look at Ethereum. You know what? I will do Solana first though, as I have sometimes done lately, because I'm very interested to see how we've done with these. Okay, yeah. So we are at the equilibrium. Yeah, cool. I expected that, considering how the equilibriums and the highs and the lows kind of mathematically go within themselves. This area is roughly going to be equilibrium, which we are at right now. So yeah, that made sense. Oh yeah, actually, I should probably look at the balance chart. How is the balance chart doing? Is that a little red? All right, I'll read the chat in a minute as well. Anyway, so yeah, for me, the main one was 81. I was like, oh, this is brilliant. 81, this is strong. No. Big mistake. Big mistake for Solana. I did not take into account we could have... Well, I did, but my thing was, okay, we're at the 81. Let me bring the main thing up. I think I was saying on Friday, I think the 81 is going to be decently strong support. I thought it was going to be... Was it this one? There it is. Oh, I don't know. I'll just move the line. Okay, let me delete this white line, actually, because it's kind of annoying my face. We can see it on the orange. There we go. Okay, so yeah, so my thing was, okay, I think this is going to be good support. We've got this kind of rejection block. We've got an order block. I think we're going to have good support here. And for a little time, we did. And then we kind of did a really bad thing, which we kind of dumped really badly. And then really badly dumped for the entire thing. Yeah, we candled in like an hour, in 4 hours basically. We basically went 4 hours. For 4 hours, we just went down, and we hardly wicked anywhere. This was meant to be this movement, and then we surpassed everything. This is one and done, And again, to be fair, these, what was it on the 1 hour? It's on the 1 hour. It wasn't that strong. But yeah, I mean, I thought 162 would be a decent support point. We didn't even test it as support, which is structurally not really that good in terms of. And again, when you go to the 27, this is kind of like the hourly range. This isn't something that strong. You can see on the 1 hour, it respects this line here, especially on this. You can see good bouncing towards the high here. Okay, let me go to phone. It's all right. But you can see, okay, yeah, a bounce, good. And then obviously we have this kind of rough kind of bounce and arc from the purple line. And then from there, we've come down towards equilibrium. But looking at the structure, this is like immense, massive candles downwards, slight retracement, massive candle downwards, slight retracement, massive candles down, slight retracement, massive candles down. So this is like a meant to be. This is like we're supposed to be here, which is not good for Solana. But yeah, these were like 1 hour order blocks, which aren't that strong on the grand scheme of things. So if you were to look at a higher range on the 4 hour, for example, this isn't that strong. We did see a bounce from this area, relatively decent bounce, especially this being the purple line. Oh no, that's the purple line there. This is this is just an order block. I mean, I don't really have anything else to say, but I mean, it is an area of support This is obviously also an order block down here on the 30-minute. But again, 30-minute, realistically, who cares? Not to say 30-minute doesn't matter, but in terms of my ranges, the 30-minute doesn't matter that much. If I'm not going to be trading it, it doesn't matter because I want to look at the 4 hour. So yeah, I mean, we did have a bounce, but again, it wasn't that strong. We're on the 1 hour looking at these higher time frames, so it wasn't that strong. But we didn't even consider the 162 on any range above the 1 hour as anything more than just a pathetic little drawing on the screen, which is actually pretty crazy in my opinion. Something which would happen, you know, this you don't really see the highs and the lows are normally decent areas of support and resistance. You know, you see this really often. Ethereum, Bitcoin, pretty much any coin I would go to, even with Trump and Melania, like these ranges can chart those ranges because realistically, it's not like I have to use data like a money flow thing or momentum thing, which I have to calculate. It's something based on a pattern with numbers, like a Fibonacci thing. You know, you can use it on any chart then. And when I went to Trump and Melania, the respect of the equilibriums and the highs and the lows, because you don't use the highs and the lows based on price action. It's a formulaic thing which goes through the power of threes. You know, so it's not like, again, it's not some, you know, PhD mathematical idea, but at the same time, it's not something which is charted based on price action. It's based on a strict kind of process. So, you know, even on those meme coins which are crappy, the highs and the lows and the equilibriums also get used. So this is a universal thing for me on my charts, which is a good support. And if we come to these areas, unless we have strict, you know, strong sentiment, which is still negative, which could allow us to come down, because again, you have to have, you know, with these highs and lows, there will be times where you are going to be scenarios where you do come lower than them or do come higher than them. Otherwise, your price would never move ever if you couldn't come below or above these. So, you know, it does make sense you can come below them, but they're realistically, if you're just not doing normal price action, which doesn't have huge negative sentiment behind them or something external happening, these points of 162, for example, are going to be really strong support. But in this case, we didn't even see that much strength in it. We came right past it, which is quite interesting for this. But to be fair, though, if we look on the higher ranges for the daily on the 243, which kind of makes sense, we do see that we have nothing below us until we see equilibrium at 143 to 127. And what I do remember saying on Friday, that we did have this equilibrium down here, which I think I did talk about $130, which I think KB said as well for Solana at 120. Yeah, I mean, I've got 120 there. I think I remember saying, I think we did talk about this on Friday. I remember saying 130. So realistically, on these ranges, you know, 81 is still a decent range. You know, it should have some bounce, but again, we didn't even look at it as anything more than just a pathetic little line on the screen. So looking at it, obviously 27, yeah, 150 is going to be support, but I don't think, looking at how bad negative we're doing, and also considering the fact that Bitcoin and Ethereum, they're doing their thing relative to each other. But with Solana, it's kind of had this continuous momentum downwards. Obviously, coming from this scenario we've had on the weekly, which saw us kind of have this flip of this trend line we were doing on the weekly, bounce off of it for resistance, and then coming down all the way. Obviously, this was a quite a negative thing. Obviously, you could probably, if you looked at chart patterns, you could probably see maybe one of these little things going on, whatever it's called, the malarkey fandangled expansion syndrome thing, which causes us to go down or whatever. You know, that's, you know, there you go, I suppose. But we have true like meaning behind our movement downwards. So in terms of a 27 point power free equilibrium stopping us, I don't think so. I think considering how negative we're on the daily, I think this isn't going to stop us. I think 142 to at least 130 is going to be our stopping point. So in terms of a relative 120 from KB, I do think 140 to 130 area, which is obviously quite a big range for Solana, I do admit that. So if I was to had to pinpoint one based on history as well, I would probably see the 128. You can see multiple times over good bounces. Now we do have bounces off the 143, but considering looking at previous price action, which kind of actually respects these lines, we see more of respect on the 130. So what I'm going to say on the higher time frames, anyway, on the daily, is that I think 130 is going to be a good support point. So I think we can probably continue to come downwards on Solana and see that point down there at 130 basically. So that's probably what I would expect for Solana. Because again, if you think, oh well, what about Bitcoin? Bitcoin's at support. Why would Solana go down if the market's not going to go down based on Bitcoin? Well, just look at the past couple of days. Look at Solana versus Bitcoin over since the 12th of February. again, we have had external Solana-based negativity and probably meme coin negativity as well. If you consider Libra, it's not only Solana, but it's probably also meme coins as a whole. So anything meme coin based, even big things like the Doge, for example, it wouldn't be too far-fetched to say, okay, well, meme coin's bad. Me don't like meme coins anymore. Meme coin make me mad. Me sell me meme coin. You know, so, but there could be something in Dogecoin, because Dogecoin has a similar process as Solana as well. So, but to not talk on things I don't know 100% in and out. Obviously, I'm not saying I know Solana in and out, but I know Solana's, current situation better. And from what I do know, we have had that really significant since about, I think it was like Friday. So I think it was the 14th of February, actually, when Libra came out. And since then, we've just been going down, which you can see on the chart. 14th, 15th of February. Since then, straight down. We had recovery. Obviously, the market had a bit of recovery, and then just more negativity. And obviously, we had, I think it was Friday. Oh no, wasn't it Friday? Wasn't it Friday exactly? The Bybit thing. Was it Friday? Wasn't it? Pretty sure it was Friday. I can't remember. Yeah, February 21st, which was, I think, Friday. Yeah, Friday. Cool. I just want to make sure I got it right. So yeah, obviously we had Libra. We had double Libra because we had the whole thing going on. We still have that unraveling due to who's behind it and what's going on. We also had Bybit going on. We have this massive dump from the resultants of all this coming on to give us the 150. So, Solana is kind of in its own scenario, which has its own negativity behind it. So it's not like it's exactly following Bitcoin and the market as a whole. Because I'm not saying every single coin is following Solana, but I'm pretty sure there are quite a few coins which are in Solana's footsteps, similar to Doge, for example. Probably like, oh, meme coin bad. Me clankhead, me not like meme coin, and me sell, type of thing. So, anyway, I think Solana will see 130 relatively soon in comparison. I think Bitcoin's support is probably pretty good at 93.8 or wherever we are exactly. I do think we're going to be seeing support there. I wouldn't see any reason, or there probably could be reason in the market, and there probably might be other people out there who have different methods of TA, which could probably give me a reason why we could come below these certain areas. But relative to my charts, I don't see... I could probably maybe see a visit below these equilibriums, because again, it is a weekly equilibrium. And if we look at the daily, yeah, we've got 7 days in a week. So there's good chance where we could have a few days below this equilibrium, making everyone cry, and then go back upwards. So I'm not saying we can't see below it. I'm just saying I think we have decent support there. And on the 4 hour, we're bouncing. So slowly, again, as we cascade upwards, as the sentiment changes, if the sentiment changes on the 30 minutes, if the sentiment changes on the 30 minute enough, then the 1 hour will change. If the 30 minute changes positive twice, then the 1 hour will start to change positive, and the 4 hour starts to change. So if we continue to see this bounce on the 4 hour, daily will start to bounce. So, obviously, as we cascade upwards. So as we see the 4 hour currently bouncing off the equilibrium on Bitcoin, if we can continue this movement, then obviously the daily will start to bounce, and then we'll actually see higher time frame bouncing on the equilibrium. So I do think we'll probably see support where we are right now. I think we'll come back upwards above the order block. But again, the order block hasn't really been a strong point for us. And again, the majority of my TA, if we look at the charts, is realistically different time frame equilibriums, the breaker block, occasionally fair value gaps, and that's pretty much it. Maybe trends or whatever. So order blocks, I don't really look at order blocks that much because sometimes they just don't work that well. But breaker blocks work decently well, considering. So in this case with Bitcoin, the order block, we really haven't used it. I'm not gonna lie. Like we kind of came right below it. But again, over the market, we have had these massive movement downwards, especially with Solana right now. As you can see, this massive candle, hardly any wicking going on here. Apart from this bounce off the equilibrium of this 27 PF3, we hardly are wicking, so we are solidly going down in this case. Obviously, in Bitcoin's case as well, we have had big candles, small wick, big candle, really meaningful movements downwards. So, I'm not surprised we have this much power below, behind us moving down, where we won't really realistically be using these support points which we have. So, and I've had PF3 lol. I mean, yeah, it depends. I mean, obviously there's two spheres. There's data, and then there's like patterns. If you're a data person, you probably won't like patterns. If you're a pattern person, or there's like data patterns, and then not patterns, but like, because patterns are very obfuscated. Because like, if you look, okay, trend lines, yes, I mean, trend lines are very kind of simple, and the reason why they work is simple. Higher highs, higher lows, or in this case, higher lows. That is quite a simple process, but a lot of example, expanding triangle. Why? Obviously, I know it's a pattern, so there is probably due reason for it. But again, like, if you don't know, it's like, okay, why does expanding triangle result in this massive thing? Well, it could be, okay, as we're moving more rapidly and rapidly, we have more and more money behind us moving, where it would then allow us to either go up or go down with this kind of momentum. Maybe, are we building momentum? Like, it's quite obfuscated in my opinion. Like, I'd like to kind of know, or know why they potentially work. But again, I will not admit, like, patterns, it's just a systematic, it's trying to find reason in what could potentially be something which doesn't have 100% reason behind it, type of thing. But then obviously the data side of things, it's like, if you can find things which overlap each other in terms of database systems or things like that, then obviously that works too. I know people trade certain certain numerical data to actually, because again, like, people trade solid volume, for example, like that sort of thing. But even with that, it's like you can make patterns out of volume which match up, because all really a pattern is matching up something obvious on a higher level which has reasoning on the lower level. So I'm yapping. I don't know why I'm yapping so much. Let's just move on to Ethereum. I'm getting all philosophical with these things. Yeah, Ethereum, again, what have we done realistically? If we look at this on the daily, what have we realistically done? We've not done anything. We've literally come back to exactly where we were. We've not done anything. We were doing so well, and now we've not done anything. Like, look, like, we've really not done, like, where were we? Like, the reason why Ethereum hasn't done anything is because we actually stayed decently above the breaker block, and we stayed this rejection block pretty nicely as support, but eventually we did fall down below this, because again, looking at this is the no bueno, because this has been strong resistance. This isn't realistically going to be that strong in comparison to this, so this will make sense to be a nice movement downwards. Now, I don't know if this is going to be a really valid fair value gap on any of the ranges. I would like to see though. So for example, if we look on the 729, maybe a bit of a lower range, this makes sense to be a fair value gap, so we might have a fair value gap here. Again, nothing's ever 100% in these things. But we do have that there, for example, if we do come to this. We might have a bit of resistance there. Similar how Solana, is starting to flip equilibrium. Solana's going to have resistances. But in this case, we do have Ethereum very similar to Bitcoin. So, I wouldn't be surprised if we have this bounce. But in the case of where we are at support, Solana, Ethereum does have that. So we see this order block, which we've had, which now come to think of it is actually a breaker block on this range. So I don't know where I drew this from. It's very similar with Bitcoin. Why did I draw this? Oh yeah, it's just an order block on this range here, which realistically isn't that good of an order block. Now I'm not gonna admit. I'm not gonna lie anyway. But can't ignore that it is bouncing. Obviously we formed it, bounced, and now we're doing a similar bounce from here, bouncing again. So we could be bouncing off this equilibrium or order block. Sorry. So Bitcoin's got its equilibrium. Ethereum's got this order block here. Now this is a breaker block on quite far away actually, but it is a breaker block on the lower ranges. But to be fair though, it is actually an order block on the daily where it's supposed to be. So this might be, but with order blocks you can flip them, but if we use it as a breaker block, it's actually positive, so we should be using it as support, which in the case we've had, yes, we have used it as resistance, and then we start to flip it, but we realistically haven't used it that well. So I might actually convert this because it's not that strong of a breaker block. Because realistically, it's not similar with this one. These are order blocks. So this realistically isn't an order block on this range anyway. So I might actually convert this because I'm not really using it true to how it's supposed to be. So in this case, it's going to be resistance area or a support area. Like if we start to flip it. But now my chart is looking very ugly, and I don't like that anymore. What have we got down here? Is this a 1 hour? We had this one. Oh yeah, we had a 1 hour order block down here, which we used as well. So I remember saying similar with Solana had its order blocks and order block and rejection block. Ethereum's got its order blocks, but in this case with Ethereum, we don't have that true multiple negative meanings behind it where we have support. But in this case, I think we're still doing higher lows, which is a good thing. Of the latest movements anyway. Obviously, if you just make sure this isn't anything you look at, if you look at the general big movements, we have had nice highs and nice higher lows, higher highs. So we're still good in terms of our movements. Again, obviously considering this wasn't a very good thing. This was a drastic. I mean, to be fair, like even considering from back here, relative. I mean, this was bad. We had this high and then this low. So we kind of like sweep this area maybe lower than here. This was pretty bad. So we sweep this, came all the way down. But again, this was the Bybit dump anyway, so it kind of makes sense. But external from that, coming from this, I believe a Bybit low. Oh no, I keep on confusing this low, this low. This was the Bybit low. This was the other low we had across the market as well. But considering these two lows we've had, and then now with this massive low, we are seeing from this low anyway, a nice kind of slow uptrend. So maybe a retracement back up to 2,800, which in Bitcoin's case is similar to about 99k, which I would expect if we are bouncing off equilibrium to see that retracement back up to the highs. But again, you can't ignore, we might have resistance in these order block areas. This is going to be support. We're not shy of resistance on this area, for example. We're not shy of this, but realistically, it's not really been used that well. I might get rid of this. It's really ugly, and it's not really being used to its potential. So I'm going to get rid of it. But we do have this potential fair value gap, which could give us a bit of difficulty on the 729, which is the relative 4 hour. If you look at the 729 on the 4 hour, it looks relatively accurate, I would say. So I would say this could be a potential fair value gap where 2,760 could be potential, reversal point. But again, I don't really hold that too much. I wouldn't hold too much thing on that. But I mean, in that case, if we were to follow 729 in a negative spin, this is not only a order block, but is actually a breaker block. Wait, is this a breaker? Hold on. I'm confusing myself every time I look at this area. This is a daily thing. Hold on. But you see, this range doesn't really follow this kind of scheme. You see, the 729 is not very good. So I'm actually going to ignore that. Similar to how Bitcoin has its area down here. If this was a breaker block, this is not a good thing, because then this could be resistance, which then could therefore be, this was the bounce to confirm as an order block. This is our reversal to then find resistance. But then we have this equilibrium down here at 2,600, which we've had and we've been using the entire time. So similar, Bitcoin. Actually, this is identical to Bitcoin, actually, pretty much. If we consider it like this in the right range is technically also a breaker block. I think if we go to one of the lower ranges, maybe here, or was it here, or where are we? What are we doing? Here it is. Yeah, this one. So for example, in this case, on the 4 hour, well, actually not. I don't know. It depends on how you look at it. But I mean, in this case, it would be breaker block, which in this case, it would be negative. But similar to how we have with Ethereum, we have this equilibrium, us being equilibrium, to maybe combat that. Very, very similar to how we had up here, where we had a breaker block, which we tried to hold as support, but the fact that we were at equilibrium meant we were just never using it as a support point. So, very similar to how I think we probably won't have difficulty. And like I said with Bitcoin earlier, I think reversing, where are we? There we go. I typed Bitcoin again, didn't I? Well, like I said earlier, where since we are in an equilibrium point, I think flipping it, regardless of how strong it would be, is going to be something quite easy to do, because we are at equilibrium, which is one of the most important areas. So yeah, I don't really think that's going to be too difficult. So I think, yeah, 2,615, 2,608 kind of area, that's probably like furthest down support point I see, in terms of where we are. If not, we bounce off this here, but realistically, based on this, we shouldn't do that. But then that could be a lower low then, which probably won't be a good thing for our long-term Ethereum movement. So I guess it depends on how we use this, because again, we could bounce off this twice, and then before we see any negative usage of this, we're then surpassing 2,900. So, again, I still think, regardless of if we're here or here, I still think this is our low, in this general area in between, this kind of $40 range or $38 range. So I think we probably will see retracements back up. So with Bitcoin, maybe towards this area, we might see fair value gap, here of difficultness. Obviously, we have this rejection block, which actually seems to be being used pretty well in terms of good resistance in these areas. So we could see it stop at 2,743 and then come down a bit. But, again, I don't think it's going to be too crazy as a resistance. I think we probably will surpass it. So maybe coming towards 2,743 and then coming down again. But then that would be a lower high. So in terms of the spin of the weekly being or this week's candle printing at equilibrium to be our support, we could see that. It depends on how long we stay down here for. It's based on our pattern, we should bounce and then come upwards. But considering what we've got in front of us, or what I've got in front of me, we can maybe see a bit of resistance in this area before we actually see our high point again. So, but looking at it, that's kind of the midpoint of this kind of range. I can't. There we go. Well, coming from the highs and lows, I should probably do. Yeah, it's roughly the midpoint, of this two area is this resistance area. So, if we're flipping it or not, whatever. Yeah, I mean, we could see a resistance there, but I wouldn't think it'd be too strong. So I think general kind of takeaway, I think we're just at our low again. I think we're going to see support. I think we'll retrace back upwards. But in Solana's case anyway, I do think we are going to see a bit lower towards 147, 150, or whatever, or maybe 130. That kind of equilibrium range we had on Solana. I think that's probably where we'll see another low for Solana, because we are coming down for Solana, because it is a bit of more of a, whatever kind of idea you want to say, the black duckling or whatever it's called. It's doing its thing because it has something outside of it to do its thing. So yeah, I would say that for Solana, but I think Ethereum and Bitcoin's case, we are at decent support points anyway. So whether we come up to our complete highs or not, I do think we are going to be seeing a bit more movement upwards again, which obviously is probably boring to say, because again, I've been saying that the past couple streams multiple times over, because we've just been doing the same thing over and over again. Whenever we've gone up, we've either seen multiple areas of highs, because like in here, for example, we can see these two highs, relatively equal highs here, which we've surpassed with this, and then we've dumped. Or in other cases, we've seen Bybit with their hack, or we've seen big dumps over here, or over here we saw big dumps. So whenever we go up, we just seem to come right back down. Whenever we come right back down, we just seem to go right back up. So it's kind of a pendulum which is constantly going. So it's just going to take one little match to start. This is like air drying, sticks. The drier it they get, the easier. Okay, I'm yapping. That's wrong. Eventually something's going to happen. Again, like I said, shout out to the man above. If you believe in that, if you don't, then believe in whatever you believe. Obviously don't discriminate here. Obviously we're a welcoming channel. So yeah, I will not do that. In terms of saying that, I'm trying to read the balance chat. I was kind of distracted. Yeah, I don't see anything going on in the balance chat as a lost man. But shout out to you guys. Shout out to Kishan in the balance chat as well, and Cafe Demar. Shout out to you as well. I'm gonna close that though, because I'm gonna be ending the stream. It says a minute, but it's 10:05, so I'm probably will be ending the stream now. So because I started the timer late. So I do appreciate you all. Wait, let me open the Telegram to make sure I'm not wrong. Here we go. There we go. Let me minimize this quickly. Hold on. Wait. Here we go. Okay. Yeah. So back to where I was. There we go. So hopefully we can do well. So let's keep going at what we're doing here, because as we keep on going with this highs and these lows, consistent with just moving up and moving downwards, it makes the price really predictable, which is nice. Apart from the times where we sweep the lows, like for example, someone over here, maybe it was this one, where we came down pretty significantly. Again, if we're doing the same thing 5 times, everyone's like, okay, well, why not we just do it the 6th time? And then you get swept, and then you get taken out. So, do be careful of getting, of sweeps, because there probably will be pile-ups of longs where we are right now, which is logical, considering how we've come. But, we might have a bit more moving downwards back towards a time more, because, again, it makes sense. But as I see it, we're in this range, consistent. We've been doing this boom, 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 boom constantly. So, what's to say we're not going to do it again? So we might be seeing our highs again relatively decently throughout the week. Again, obviously Monday being really negative. Obviously there's some people who say out there, the Monday can orchestrate how the rest of the week goes. If you do have a really big movement downwards, the rest of the week's going to be spent moving back upwards. So it could be one of those things again. We've had this dump. Monday, negative. We're going to be slowly retracing throughout the week, which I could probably expect considering where we are right now. So let's hope for the best. I'm going to end the stream now though, because I have been talking for a long time, because I always do that. KB, I'm going to message you. Okay, we're going to get this done. Obviously, I'll message you, get some time frames going, see when we can do a stream, because I would love to get you on the stream. I think it's going to be great. Yeah, thank you all for being here. I do appreciate you all, each and every one of you, for being here. Kishan, KB, let me go to make sure I do not miss a single person who hasn't. Obviously, the people who are, because that's the thing, like, some people might be here, but they haven't messaged yet, so, you know what I'm saying. And new people as well. Ali, shout out to you. Welcome to the stream. Obviously, it's ending now, but hopefully you enjoyed what you did watch. In agendas as well. Obviously, Mike has been here. Danny as well was here. I think if I scroll up, I might find his comment. Obviously, Kishan in the Binance chat as well. So, you know, shout out to you, man. Keeping it, you know, real on the Binance chat. You just like basically telling all these scammers, don't bother. And again, hopefully, if you're on Binance and you're seeing these things in the chat, I actually have never looked into one because I don't really care about them. And I don't know if you make money. You probably don't. Again, if people are just constantly spamming something, it's probably to benefit them. So I wouldn't bother with it. Just ignore it. But it makes it hard to read the chat. So I do apologize for that. But if you do want to get more involved in the streams, obviously I'm not trying to off-ramp anybody from Binance or anything like that. But if you're someone watching the stream on Binance and you don't really chat, but you'd like to do something like that, join Telegram first is what I would say. But also, come over to YouTube. I'm always looking at the YouTube chat constantly. Whenever someone posts like, KV, sounds good, mate, let me know. I saw that as it was basically sent. So I do see the messages, so don't worry about that. So if you do want to, talk or whatever, ask questions, come to YouTube. Anyway, I'm going to see you guys. I think the next stream for the quiz is the 5th. And I know last time we had one, it was a bit choppy, but I've had a major breakthrough. You know when, I don't know, what sort of historical scientific event happened? Name any. The apple fell from the head. I had my apple head moment today. So the game is going to be 10-fold, 20, 100-fold better on Wednesday because I'm a moron and the first way I did it was awful, but now I figured out a way of doing it really, really better. So Wednesday, if I can get it working, and I've basically fixed 85% of the app in today's me working on it. So by Wednesday, I'll probably clean it up. Maybe tomorrow for that. I might do another test stream actually to make sure it still works because it's a bit of a different system. But if all goes smoothly, nothing should lag on the Wednesday. So again, third time's because we've only done 2, and as they say, third time's the charm. Whatever. Realistically, on Wednesday we should have a completely smooth game. So what I'll probably do, maybe in a couple of days, whatever. Obviously, we've got I've got Friday. I will be streaming as well. Obviously, my streams in the days. Maybe on Wednesday, Thursday, whatever. I might do a quick stream like I did last time, which obviously Mary, Danny, I believe Kishan was there. I think Mags was there. I don't know who else was there. For those of you who were there, you were there. Obviously, Mary won. No surprise there. I might be doing another one just to kind of test it. I'm going to make sure it works. But if, obviously, like I said, all goes smoothly, we will not have a single problem with the game anymore, and I will be completely fixed it. So let's hope for the best. I'll be posting that soon as well to make sure it works. So thank you guys. Appreciate you all. Thank you guys for joining. See you guys Friday. I won't obviously see you Wednesday because we're not doing that, but I'll see you in the test stream. And KB, I'm going to message you on Telegram. Thank you guys so much. See you guys next time. Goodbye.
Come on, BTC.